And we're starting off with WWE, as there's no shortage of titles available across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, with all three brands having a singles mid-card title for male superstars. Those male stars not quite in the main event can challenge for the United States, Intercontinental, or North American title, but there's no mid-card title for the women. Speaking to Steve Fall of SE Scoops this week, Raquel Rodriguez said that she wants that to be changed, saying, "We have women from all over the world, from all over the country, from different backgrounds and different ethnicities. I think having an Intercontinental Championship, having a North American Championship for the women would be something. Just a huge leap forward for the women's division." In WWE, Rodriguez is a former NXT Women's Champion, NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, and WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, but perhaps one day she'll hold a singles mid-card just for the women of the company. Last week, AEW severed ties with Space, their broadcast partner in Mexico, South America, Central America, and the Bahamas, leaving fans in the respective areas without Spanish-speaking commentary. Tony Khan's announcement of the news faced criticism, as he only made the announcement on Twitter in English, but we now know more about what happened. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer explained that the two sides could not come to terms over a financial agreement, and that this split was not due to any bad blood between AEW and Space. Now, fans in these areas will have to pay $6.99 a month for AEW Plus, in a move that hasn't gone down well at all with Spanish-speaking fans. Since July, Austin Theory has held on to the Money in the Bank briefcase and hasn't shied away from trying to cash in. At SummerSlam and Clash at the Castle, Theory tried to become the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, but was stopped before the cash-in attempt was officially made. Now Theory has a new strategy to become champion, and in an interview with Bleacher Report, teased that his title win may not be televised. I mean, anything can happen in the WWE. That's been said a lot of times. I feel like, who knows? Why would it not happen? It has to happen eventually, right? Somebody has to do it, and why not me? Somebody who makes these headlines, these achievements, the youngest United States champion, the youngest Mr. Money in the Bank, and the man that could cash in at a live event. Who knows? Well, Theory would no doubt love the chance to win the title with the world watching. The most important thing to him is to actually win. And if his best opportunity comes at a WWE live event with a few hundred fans present, then so be it. Next January, the road to WrestleMania 39 will officially begin with the annual Royal Rumble Premium Live event. Like the previous 5 years, the event will feature both a men's and women's Rumble match, and even with only these two matches confirmed, tickets are moving fast. In a new report from Fightful, the 2023 Royal Rumble is set to break the record for both the most amount of ticket sales and the gross revenue of any Rumble event. The record had previously been held by the 2017 Royal Rumble at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, which will also host the 2023 event. Over 25,000 tickets have already been sold for next year's show, and that number will only climb from here. Not only have there been no other matches confirmed for the 2023 Royal Rumble, but no names have been announced for either Rumble match, which goes to show just how popular the WWE product and the Royal Rumble is. Andrade El Idolo made a name for himself working in CMLL in Mexico, as well as New Japan Pro Wrestling. He then improved a lot in WWE and eventually debuted in AEW. Andrade spent several years in WWE well aware of how the company functions, especially its hectic work schedule, and while speaking to Mas Lucha, Andrade admitted that he feels stagnant in AEW, but noted that he prefers the AEW schedule to his WWE one. "Right now I feel a little stagnant. I feel like I want more. I feel like although I have a good contract, the schedule is good. I like the schedule because WWE was inhuman. It was quite a lot. People cannot imagine. But they think because he is fighting on TV, it is the only time he fights. There are more non-televised matches in other cities, other countries. Right now it's difficult because I want more. I feel like I want more now that Rush is back. It's the pressure that we want more." Andrade El Idolo is set to face off against Preston Vance, where he puts his career on the line. We will have to wait and see whether Idolo will leave AEW or not. Dexter Lumis was one of the highlights of NXT television for the past couple of years, especially due to his amusing storyline with Indy Hartwell. However, Lumis and 9 other NXT stars were released by WWE earlier this year. Dexter Lumis made his return back in August, much to the delight of fans. Since then, he has been involved in a very one-sided storyline with The Miz. It continues even now. While speaking on MCW Backstage Pass, Lumis discussed the process of choosing a new WWE name. He revealed that his name is an homage to the classic movie called Halloween. It's just, hey, you get an email and it's like, hey, pitch us 5 names, anything but your own name and the intellectual property. So I didn't initially have the name Dexter Lumis, I had it in the list. I don't even know if it was Dexter Lumis. It might have been like Dexter Shawshank, but the writers seemed to like Dexter Lumis. Lumis was a play on Dr. Lumis from Halloween, we just spelled it different for trademark reasons and whatnot. So I was always a big fan of the horror movie genre. Halloween is one of my favorite horror movies from the 70s, early 80s. Dr. Lumis, Sam Lumis, that was the guy who I sort of based that name on, and Dexter obviously being the famous TV show, the vigilante serial killer that kills bad people. Lumis is doing some of his best with The Miz on Raw, but hasn't wrestled since his return. Here's wishing best wishes to Lumis in his second outing. Musician Michael Fitzgerald, aka Fitz, recently announced that he and former WWE Divas champion Alicia Fox got engaged yesterday. In an Instagram post, Fitzgerald shared a few photos of his proposal to Fox, revealing that they got engaged yesterday. Fox has previously dated fellow WWE colleague Wade Barrett, however, the couple split in 2012 after spending about 2 years together. Over the past few years, the 36-year-old has been in a relationship with musician Michael Fitzgerald of the Dark Horse Saloon band. The former star of Total Divas holds a few records in WWE history, including being the first ever African-American Divas champion and becoming the first woman to win a championship in the Royal Rumble match. Tony Khan revealed that AEW World Champion Jon Moxley was initially involved in original plans to bring in the Great Muta, Keiji Muto, to the company. A few weeks ago at Rampage Grand Slam, the 38-year veteran made his surprise AEW debut and saved former rival Sting from Buddy Matthews' attack during the duo's no disqualification tag team match, with Darby Allin and Brody King as their respective partners. During an interview with Robbie Fox on My Mom's Basement, Khan disclosed that Moxley came up with the idea of having the Japanese legend in AEW during the Forbidden Door media scrum in June. Great Muta, we've been talking about for a long time, and it was funny because Mox brought it up in a press conference, and we were already talking about it, and I was like, they're with New Japan, so I was kind of like, I don't know if this is the best time. It was like, we were already working on it. The president also confessed that Muta was originally scheduled to appear at All Out, but was unavailable at the time. He then slated the latter for the Grand Slam event, which he thought was a great idea. The Japanese wrestling legend will have his retirement show at Pro Wrestling Noah on January 22, 2023 in Yokohama, Japan, called The Great Muta Final Goodbye. Sting will be involved in the said event as he and Muta will be tag team partners. Sting and Muta were involved in some of the most iconic matches in pro wrestling history. The two competed in WCW at Starrcade 1989 and New Japan Pro Wrestling at WCW NJPW Super Show 91 from the late 80s to the early 90s. They last faced each other in a triple threat match at WCW Fall Brawl 2000, where the AEW star was victorious against the Japanese legend and Vampiro. And we're ending today with AEW star Andrade El Idolo, who has peeled back the curtain on backstage beef he had with top star Sammy Guevara, who claimed the former WWE superstar worked too stiff. Andrade and Guevara worked together regularly through the first portion of 2022, with El Idolo challenging for Sammy's AEW TNT Championship on 2 different occasions. The two men were later on opposite teams for the Tornado Trios match at Revolution, which also involved Sting, Darby Allin, and the Hardy family office. All of the matches that the two had were highly praised by fans, although Andrade didn't pick up the victory on any occasion when he shared the ring with Guevara in AEW. Speaking in an interview with Mas Luchas, Andrade revealed that he had an issue with Sammy Guevara after the former TNT champion went behind his back and complained about him. I'm going to say his name, it was Sammy Guevara. I had an issue with him because he once came to the locker room and complained that we hit him too hard. It's wrestling, solve it in the ring. If I hit hard, hit me hard too. I learned that he came in and that he accused me like a little girl. After I learned about it, I spoke to him and asked if he had an issue with me, but he said he did not, and that's all there was to it. The former United States champion compared Guevara complaining about him to WWE superstars John Cena, Sheamus, and The Miz, who stated that none of these guys ever complained about getting hit hard by El Idolo. He said, "It's funny because not even in WWE. For example, Sheamus likes to hit, and all my respect for him because he loves to hit hard and he loves the strikes. He's wild. Even The Miz likes to throw strikes. Not even John Cena complained about me, so if he did not complain, imagine this kid who is just starting, but there's that." Do you agree with El Idolo's comments about Sammy Guevara? Sound off in the comments below. And we're ending today with Vince McMahon, and with the allegations made against him, it's easy for some to only look back negatively on the former WWE chairman and remember all the bad decisions he made in wrestling. Sure, McMahon had a lot of stinkers make it to air on his programming, but he also had plenty of gold, including the formation of a popular tag team. Speaking this week on the Wrestling with Johners podcast, Scott Garland, aka Scotty Hotty, recalled being booked for WrestleMania 14 with Brian Christopher and spoke with McMahon after the show. "I found somebody to my left and I look and it's Vince, and he's getting a coffee at the same time. Thank you, sir, for putting me on this show. It's a dream come true. I don't know if you know this, but I used to wrestle as Scott Too Hot Taylor on the independent scene, and Brian is Too Sexy Brian Christopher. I'm just throwing that out there. I thought that would be the end of it, and then the next week I show up at TV and we're on the board. They named us Too Much. We had no input in that. All of a sudden, we just too much, and we were a tag team." Originally obnoxious heels, the antics of Too Much would eventually turn them face as Too Cool, and all these years later, the group continues to be one of the most popular teams of the Attitude Era. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.